So now I put together my cover. Some of the changes that I made I want to share with you, talk about some special effects that I added, and some of the modifications that I made using filters. So first of all, the pictures that I used. When I went to this picture here, this was all grass, and it kind of bothered me because it was supposed to take place in the winter. So all I did is I just colorized this image to get rid of the green, so although everything's blue. With this part of the building that I wanted to be sort of the boarding house, I had the same situation. There was a lot of green trees, so I opted to do two things. Number one, I put a filter on it, might have been poster edges, and then I also colorized it, and I made it sort of like a sepia brownish kind of color. So, and again, I can always change these things later on. The last thing was bringing the two figures in. Now, a couple of problems that I had with the original picture. It was a little bit modern. I'm going to get to the picture that's unedited. For one thing, it was snowing, and not that that was really a big deal, but I knew I needed to create, you could see I started to kind of crop it. It was just too big of an image. I wanted to come really, really close to the edges, and with the snow and then interacting with the background that I had, which wasn't really snowing, it might have caused a bit of a problem. Also, I don't think in 1940s they had boots that were that color, so I had to make some changes there. I also put a filter on these figures as well to kind of lose some of the details. Okay, so I think I put paint daubs on it, or I used maybe watercolor. And you can see I got rid of the color there. I'll show you really quickly how I did that. I'll do it with his boots. Take a polygonal lasso tool and lasso around it. Then if I go to hue saturation, I can lower the saturation, I can change the hue, and it's only going to interact with whatever's selected. So that's how I did the boots. And I wasn't really that careful around the edge because the edge is white. So if I knew that if I was going to change the hue or the saturation, it wouldn't make that much of a difference. The only place it would make a difference is if I changed the lightness lower, it would make the white of the snow black. So that's how I did that. And also for their figure, I used the layer mask tool to remove some of the background, and I used a lot of the background. I used like a softer brush around the edges, and so I really think I like the look of that. Also, I kept some of the background, so that way it kind of eliminates some of the details in here that I didn't really want. I didn't want all those trees, so the figures cover them anyway. Okay, now we're going to deal with lettering. Okay, I downloaded a couple of fonts. The name of the book and the author's name, they can be in different fonts. You can have everything the same font, but in my opinion that would be boring. So you want to do a little bit of research finding the fonts that you want, because even if you're going to be doing 3 different fonts, one for the letters of the title and one for the letters for the author and such, you want to make sure that they sort of have something in common. You don't want them to look very, very different. Okay, so in my next video I'm going to show you how to do the fonts and the lettering. Okay, this video was really just to kind of show you some of the modifications that you can make with the pictures using filters and the mask layer and changing the colors and such.